One bar of soap, $2, 6 months. That's what washes my entire house, floor to ceiling, and has for 50 years. The year was 1974, and I stood in my kitchen in a little rented house, holding a receipt for cleaning products that came to more than a week of my husband's pay: bathroom spray, floor cleaner, glass cleaner, tub scrub, wood polish, a different colored bottle for every room. Every one of them promising to do the one thing the last one couldn't. My mother took one look at that receipt, walked to the cupboard, and pulled out a single yellow bar of castile soap. She said, "This washed my mother's whole house, and it'll wash yours." She was right. 50 years later, I've never bought a bottle of anything under my sink, and the cleaning companies wish I would. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your cleaning cabinet isn't full because your house needs 12 products. It's full because 12 products is 12 sales. The industry figured out somewhere around 1955 that if they gave every surface in your home its own special bottle, you'd buy every one of them and you'd feel guilty leaving any of them on the shelf. A bottle for glass, a bottle for granite, a bottle for stainless steel, a bottle for the very same floor you already have a different bottle for. It's the same trick the grocery store plays, just move down to the cleaning aisle. Every one of those bottles is mostly water with a little bit of cleaner stirred in and a different color and a different scent to tell them apart. You're paying for the packaging, the perfume, and the promise, and almost never for the thing that actually does the cleaning. And it's all the same job underneath, lifting dirt off a surface. One good soap has always done that everywhere. So today I'm going to walk you through 25 ways I've used one single ingredient to clean an entire house for 50 years. Stay until number 3, because that one saved a marble countertop that a professional told me to tear out and replace. Number 11 is the one my daughter didn't believe until she stood in my kitchen and watched me do it. And number 1 still works in every home I've ever set foot in. If you still trust the old ways over the bright labels, do me a favor right now and hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell, because this is exactly the kind of knowledge the cleaning aisle hopes stays forgotten. Number 25, washing every hard floor in the house with a splash in a bucket. A tablespoon of castile soap in a bucket of warm water is all a tile or a sealed wood floor has ever needed. The soap lifts the grime and rinses clean without leaving the sticky film that store cleaners leave behind. That film is why floors get dirty again so fast. It's tacky and it grabs every speck of dust that floats down onto it. My mother mopped her kitchen this way every single day, and it shined without a streak from one end to the other. One bar does a whole winter of floors. Number 24. Filling the foaming hand soap pump for pennies. Those little foaming pumps in every bathroom cost $4 to refill with the fancy stuff. Here's what most people miss. All a foaming pump needs is a teaspoon of castile soap and the rest water right up to the neck. The pump does the foaming, not the soap. I've filled the same 3 pumps in my house for years off one bar, and the children never knew the difference except that their hands stopped getting dry and cracked every winter. Number 23, the all-purpose spray that replaced 6 bottles. This is where the cabinet started emptying out. A tablespoon of soap, a squeeze into a spray bottle of water, and that one bottle cleans counters, cabinet fronts, doorknobs, light switches, and the kitchen table. 6 bottles under the sink became 1 bottle sitting on the counter. I labeled mine with a piece of masking tape and a pencil, the way my mother labeled hers, and I have not bought an all-purpose cleaner since the Ford administration. Number 22, Cutting grease off the stovetop where the sprays give up. Cooking grease is the hardest thing in a kitchen, and it's the thing the expensive degreasers charge the most money for. Castile soap is made to break down oil. That's the whole nature of what it is. A little squeezed straight onto a damp rag, worked over the burners in the back of the stove, and the grease lets go and wipes clean. Let it sit 2 minutes on the stubborn spots first. My stove was 30 years old and the back panel looked new because I never once let the grease build itself a home. Now, before I go any further, if this is already saving you money, tap that like button so more folks find their way to this. It costs you nothing, and it helps an old-fashioned way of doing things reach the people who need it most. Number 21, washing the dishes by hand with a soap bar in a jar. Before the plastic bottle of dish liquid, there was a bar of soap and a little water swished into a jar to make your own liquid. A 1/4 cup of grated castile in a pint jar of hot water, shaken up, makes a dish soap that cuts grease off a plate just as well as anything on the shelf. It won't foam up into a mountain of bubbles, and that's the secret the companies don't want you to know. The mountain of suds is for show. Suds don't clean a thing. The soap cleans. Number 20, scrubbing the bathtub without the harsh fumes. The blue tub sprays that make your eyes water in a closed bathroom were never necessary. A little castile soap on a wet rag or worked into a paste cuts the soap scum and body oil off porcelain and fiberglass without a single fume in the air. I cleaned that tub with 3 babies in the house and never once had to crack a window to breathe while I did it. Rinse it down, and the tub squeaks under your finger. Number 19, the mirror and window wash that leaves no streak. People don't believe soap can do glass, but the trick is using almost none of it. A drop, and I mean 1 drop, in a spray bottle of water, wiped with a soft cloth and buffed dry. Too much soap streaks. The right amount cuts the film off the glass and leaves it clear as air. My grandmother did her windows with soap and old newspaper, and you could not tell where the glass ended and the yard began. Number 18, cleaning the whole bathroom from 1 pass around the room. The same bucket that does the floor does the sink, the fixtures, and the outside of the toilet. A squeeze of castile soap on the rag, worked around each surface, then rinsed. Clean is clean. A surface that has the dirt and oil lifted right off it has nowhere for the grime to cling and start over. 1 bucket, 1 soap, the whole bathroom done, while the store sells you a separate colored bottle for every single fixture in the room. Number 17, pre-treating the laundry stain that store removers can't touch. A wet bar of castile rubbed straight into a collar ring, a grease spot, or a spilled supper on a shirt front lifts the stain before the wash water ever touches it. I saved more of my husband's work shirts this way than with any spray-on remover in a bottle. Rub it in, let it sit while you sort the rest of the load, and it comes out in the wash clean as the day it was new. Number 16, washing the walls when the fingerprints start to climb. Painted walls collect a shadow of handprints and cooking film over a year, especially around the switches and up the kitchen. A soft rag, a bucket of warm water with a tablespoon of soap, wrung out nearly dry, wiped in gentle circles. The wall comes back to its true color, and you never knew how dim it had gotten until you saw that first clean stripe. Once a year in the spring, that's all a wall ever asks for. Number 15, cleaning the wood cabinets and furniture without a special polish. The furniture polish in the can is mostly oil and perfume and a price tag. A damp cloth with the barest bit of soap wipes years of hand grease off cabinet doors and table edges. Then, a dry cloth buffs behind it. The wood breathes again. I've kept a kitchen table alive for 40 years this way, and it's darker and richer for it, not stripped down and thirsty. We're halfway through, and this next stretch is where the real money hides. If somebody in your life keeps a cabinet full of half-empty bottles under their sink, this is the video to send them today. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and turn on that bell so the next one finds you too. Number 14. The soap paste that scrubs a sink like a scouring powder. Mix castile soap with a little baking soda into a paste, and you've got a gentle scrub that shines a stainless or porcelain sink without scratching it. It gets down into the drain ring and the faucet base where the grime settles and hides. My mother kept a little cup of this, made up on the windowsill, and touched up the sink every evening after the supper dishes were done and drying. Number 13. Washing the dog without the $12 bottle. Castile soap is gentle enough for a baby, which means it's gentle enough for the dog. A little worked into a wet coat, lathered and rinsed well, leaves the animal clean and soft without the harsh chemicals in the pet store bottle. I washed every dog this family ever had with the same bar that washed the floors, and not one of them ever had a rash or a dry patch from it. The dog shampoos on the shelf are perfumed and colored to look special, but a clean dog is a clean dog, and the soap gets there just the same. Number 12. Cleaning the makeup brushes and the hair brushes. The little brushes and combs collect oil and dust nobody ever thinks about. A drop of castile in warm water, swished around, rinsed, laid flat to dry. The bristles come clean and last for years instead of getting thrown out and replaced. A hairbrush my daughter has had since she was a girl still works today because it got washed instead of tossed in the trash. A thing you take care of doesn't need replacing, and taking care of it costs almost nothing at all. Number 11. Taking the grease off the kitchen exhaust filter. This is the one my daughter didn't believe. The metal filter over the stove fills with a solid layer of grease you can't even see until it's thick and yellow. Lay it flat in the sink, cover it in hot water with a good squeeze of castile soap, let it soak 20 minutes, and the grease slides off in sheets. She stood there and watched it happen and went straight home and did her own that same afternoon. The store sells a special degreaser just for this. It doesn't do one thing the soap can't. Number 10. Washing the produce without the fancy veggie wash. There's a whole product now sold just to rinse your vegetables, and it's water with a dab of soap in it, a single drop of castile in a bowl of water, swished with the produce, then rinsed clean, takes the wax and grit off an apple or a bunch of grapes. For nothing. My mother would have laughed out loud at paying $6 for a spray bottle to do what a drop of soap and the kitchen tap have always done just fine. Number 9. Scrubbing the grout lines back to white. The grout between tiles goes gray with mildew and grime, and people replace whole backsplashes over it. A stiff old toothbrush, that soap and baking soda paste, worked into the lines and left a few minutes before you scrub, brings the white right back up. It takes some elbow grease, but elbow grease is free, and a tile job most surely is not. Number 8. Washing the car in the driveway. The car wash soap in the auto aisle is dish soap with a car on the label and a markup to match. A cap full of castile in a bucket of water washes the road film and bug spatter off the paint without stripping the wax underneath. My husband washed the same station wagon every Saturday morning for years off the same bar that sat under the kitchen sink, and that car outlasted two of the neighbor's newer ones. He used to say the only thing the special car soap cleaned out was your wallet. Number 7, cleaning the garbage can and the pail where the smell lives. The trash can holds a smell that a spray just covers up for an hour before it comes creeping back. Castile soap actually washes the oil and residue off the plastic where the smell comes from, so it doesn't come back at all. Hot water, a good squeeze, a rag or a brush around the inside, and the lid, rinsed and dried out in the sun. The smell is gone because the cause is gone, not just masked over. Number 6, mopping up after a sick child in the night. When one of mine was sick, the last thing I wanted was harsh fumes in a small bedroom at 2 in the morning. A bucket of warm water with Castile soap cleaned the floor and the bedside without filling the room with a chemical smell. Gentle enough that a sick child could breathe easy while I worked. Some cleaning is about more than the dirt. It's about not making a bad night any worse than it already is. Number 5, washing your own hands, your face, and the whole family in the bath. This is a bar of soap, first and foremost. It was made to wash a person. The same bar that does the floors and the windows will wash your face at night and bathe the baby in the morning, and it's gentler than most of what's sold as body wash. That's the whole beauty of it. There is nothing in it that isn't safe to put on your own skin, which tells you everything you need to know about what's in the bottles that aren't. We're nearly to the top of the list now, and these last few are the ones I'd hand down first. If this way of keeping a house has earned it, leave a like and hit subscribe so the old knowledge keeps getting passed along the way it always has. Number 4, the whole spring cleaning done from one bucket. Once a year, the whole house gets washed top to bottom, and I do every bit of it from one bucket of warm water and Castile soap. Walls, baseboards, doors, floors, windowsills, cabinet fronts, the works. I carry that one bucket room to room and refill it whenever it grays. No cart of bottles, no reading 12 labels, no standing there wondering which spray is safe on which surface. One soap, one bucket, one clean house. That's how my mother did the whole house every spring, and how I've done mine ever since. Number 3, saving the marble a professional said to replace. A man who does countertops for a living told me my marble was etched and stained past saving, and quoted me a small fortune to tear it out and replace the whole thing. I didn't do it. The harsh, acidic cleaners are what etch marble in the first place. Castile soap is gentle and won't burn the stone. A soft cloth, a little soap, careful circles, and that counter came back to life under my hands. It's still in that kitchen today. The problem was never the marble. It was everything they'd been telling me to clean it with. Number 2, making 6 months of cleaner from a single bar. Here's the math that ends the cleaning aisle for you for good. 1 bar of Castile soap, grated into a jar of hot water, makes a quart of liquid concentrate. A spoonful of that concentrate in a bucket, a drop of it in a spray bottle, a teaspoon of it in the foam pump. That one $2 bar, stretched into concentrate and used a little at a time, cleans a whole house for 6 months. 12 bottles of store cleaner over those same 6 months would run you $50 or more. 1 bar does the exact same work for 2. Number 1, understanding that clean is clean and the rest is a label. This is the trick the whole industry hopes you never learn. There is no such thing as a granite cleaner, a glass cleaner, a stainless cleaner, and a floor cleaner that are truly different things inside the bottle. They are the same soap and water dressed up in 4 colored bottles with 4 different prices. Once you understand that lifting dirt off a surface is one single job, and one good soap does that job everywhere in the house, you never walk down that aisle again. My mother knew it, her mother knew it before her, and now you know it too. My mother kept that yellow bar of soap by the kitchen sink until the day she passed, and the house she cleaned for 60 years was never anything but spotless. She used to say the companies don't sell you clean. They sell you the worry that you're not clean enough, one bottle at a time. That worry is the thing that fills a cabinet one bottle at a time until you can't close the door under the sink. A bar of soap and a bucket of warm water is the thing that fills a home with the smell of an honest clean, and it never once made me feel like I hadn't done enough. None of these 25 tricks costs more than a couple of dollars, and not one of them needs a special bottle to do it. The cleaning aisle just hopes you never find that out. If this brought back the way your own mother or grandmother kept a house, or if you're going to try one of these this weekend, I read every comment, and I'd love to know which one you're starting with. Do that one last thing for me. Leave a like, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so the next bit of old-fashioned know-how finds its way straight to you. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. I'll see you in the next one.